Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, second hour kicks off right now on this Thursday morning of July 16th. Thanks for tuning in and making us a part of your start, whether you are listening on the radio dials. Got a couple of those, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Also available to stream up online at sportstalk1051.com. Got the video stream rocking and rolling on YouTube, your smart devices, smart speakers like your Alexa devices, and, of course, the app. Coming up at about 8:30, we'll catch up with DNR Warden, Mr. Jake Boakes. So if you got any questions, please text those on over so we can get those to Jake. We got some 3 up, 3 down. It is a Mike's Star Market. Am I wrong? So give us your sports takes, sports opinions, where you'd say, am I wrong for thinking this? Am I wrong for saying that? All right. First hour, we talked baseball, Brewers with the trade with Lance McCullers and Colton Gordon. If you'd like to give your take, hey, we would love to hear it. So hit us up. We'll get back to some more Brewers talk and baseball talk coming up coming up a little bit later on, because we're going to kick off this hour chatting some football. So this infamous top 10 list from ESPN, that every day they come out with the top 10 list of position players as voted on. I don't know if we could say that, but as picked or as, whatever, by coaches, scouts, and executives. So safeties have come out this morning. And if you're wondering if Xavier McKinney made the list, he did. And he actually came in. I'm actually surprised they do have him at this high. Number 3, Kyle Hamilton's 1. Derwin James Jr. is number 2. Xavier McKinney comes in at 3. Just a quick couple nuggets here. From one AFC coach, he says, quote, he sees the game very quickly, fast processor. He is always in a great position and plays the game in control. He could tackle, he could cover, and he gets the ball. Here's a fun stat. McKinney hasn't allowed a touchdown as the nearest defender since joining the Packers in 2024 per NFL Next Gen Stats. The rest of the rankings, Brian Branch, Jesse Bates, Nick Imanari, Antoine Winfield Jr., Budda Baker, Kirby Joseph, Kalen Bullock. Evan Williams did not make it as any honorable mention, but I think he's going to eventually get up there. I keep forgetting how young Xavier McKinney still is.
Yeah.
He's 26. And I know his contract really goes up next year. I wouldn't mind if they reworked that and extended it to keep it back. I keep forgetting he is still incredibly young for as much, he's got 4-6 years under his belt, I think, at this point. 5-6 years. So, yeah. But the reason I'm a little surprised he's that high, because I thought, after his first year, Green Bay was he racked up the interceptions. And I know everybody last year was like, what's wrong with Xavier McKinney because he's not getting as many interceptions. I think it was a case of okay, let's kind of avoid this guy at all costs. Look where number 29 is on the field. But good to see that he's still recognized.
I find it interesting a little bit because I thought last year he struggled to tackle it a little bit in the run game. And so for this coach to say he's good at tackling, that's interesting to me because at the end of the year, we really struggled with the run. And just when you look at Evan Williams and you look at Xavier McKinney, the way they attack a running back, two different kinds. Evan Williams ready to hit. Xavier McKinney struggled to tackle a little bit, I feel like, last year, especially running backs. But he's one of the best cover safeties in the NFL. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm really excited to see this duo of Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney. I think they've just, since Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney joined the ball club at the same year. Mm-hmm. And I think they've continued to get better. I would argue, I know Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are on there as high, but I would argue that Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney are one of the best safety duos in this league.
Yeah.
I think Evan Williams is, based off this, I would argue Evan Williams is one of the most underrated safeties or players in in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think he deserves a ton of credit. And again, I would not be surprised if he is on this top 10 list next year. I think he is a very important piece to this Packers defense, because then you have such a trickle-down effect too. I mean, you could put Javon Bullard, but then you lose your nickel. But Evan Williams is a great player, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
I think these lists are always so skewed. Like, I mean, the Lions had one of the worst pass defenses last year, and yet two of their safeties are on this list. Doesn't really make sense. But I think Evan Williams, his ability to play the run and he's not the greatest cover safety, but he can make a play every now and again. He had an interception against the Lions last year in game number 1. But I really just like the way he plays the run. I mean, he'll come up and make a tackle in the box, and he runs sideline to sideline extremely well. And he pairs really well with McKinney. They're a great pairing.
Yep. Yeah. No, I completely agree. So let's go to Surveyor's text, since we're talking about this top 10 list. And this was the list that drew a lot of talk about Jordan Love because he didn't make the list. So I want to get to Surveyor's text here. He said, okay, DK, I know everyone discussed this yesterday about the quarterback rankings, and what just grinds my gear is the national media constantly hyping up Caleb Williams and constantly downgrading Jordan. But I just don't understand what they weighed this ranking on. Was it just the, quote, eye test? Because how can anyone look at what Mahomes did last year and say, yep, that was the second best quarterback in the league last year? How can anyone not look at what Brock Purdy has done and not say he's top 10? But because it's Bears-Packers, I'm just going to list the 3 stats that are considered the, quote, best metrics by all the analytical people. Number 1, EPA, expected points added, which evaluates play-by-play data and factors in the down and distance, field position, and time remaining. Number 1, Jordan Love. Number 2, Dak Prescott. Number 20, Caleb Williams. Number 2, CPOE, completion percentage over expected, which measures not just the completion percentage, but how difficult the throw was. Depth, passer, pressure, and receiver separation. Number 1, Drake May. Number 2, Jordan Love. Number 34, Caleb Williams. 3, QBR, which is the total quarterback ranking. Number 1, Jordan Love. Number 6, Caleb Williams, and it's a difference between 80.7 and 53.5. This argument is not even close. Jordan Love is a better quarterback than almost everyone in the league, but he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's in Green Bay. If he was playing anywhere else, he would be on this list and arguably top 5. But who cares? Go beat the snot out of everyone this year and prove, quote, executives and GMs, quote, wrong. So.
And that's exactly why he's not on the top 10 list, because he hasn't done that yet. And I think this was the worst top 10 list of quarterbacks I've ever seen. This list is really not good at all. But I think that when you look at Caleb Williams and those, just comparing those two, I think Jordan Love's a better quarterback. But when you're constantly a 7 seed in the playoffs and haven't really taken that superstar step yet, and then you come back with a guy, I mean, the Bears have never had a franchise quarterback. So when you come back with a franchise quarterback for the Bears that just took them to a 2 seed and beat the Packers and Jordan Love in the playoffs, that's where the argument comes in for Caleb Williams. And I think that we've been telling Jordan Love he's going to take that next step to superstardom for the last 3 years, and he really hasn't become a superstar. Now, Jordan Love's a star quarterback. Mm-hmm. He can win a Super Bowl. But he's got to take that step to be a far and away better quarterback than Caleb Williams. Right now, we can look at stats, but the eye test tells us they're pretty comparable quarterbacks.
My counter argument to that playoff argument is, then why is Dak and Justin Herbert listed higher?
I agree. How is Baker Mayfield not on this list? How is Sam Darnold, who just won a Super Bowl, not on this list?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I do think Caleb Williams is just a flash in the pan. I think the Bears go from worst to first, or from first to worst, but I think that, again, we've been saying Jordan Love, go show him. And we're still saying that.
I think this is just my theory. One, does Jordan, what benefits Caleb Williams here is the comebacks, is the flashy plays. I mean, the the throws, and is that Caleb? Is that defensive breakdowns? We can get into that. I honestly believe part of this, though, is with Jordan Love. This is just my feeling. This is from a national media sense. There's no way that it's possible that Green Bay found a third straight quarterback. It's not only is Jordan Love going up against these quarterbacks, he's going up against Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre.
Yep.
Brett Favre, after Brett Favre's like, okay, we're probably not going to have a quarterback in. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers is arguably better than Brett Favre.
Yep.
And Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time from throwing the football and all that. So, I mean, the bar is set incredibly high. The guy coming in, Green Bay can't do it 3 times in a row. They can't, because no other team has done it 3 times in a row. So I think that works against Jordan Love. I do wonder, what if Jordan Love was actually putting these numbers up? All those stats are the same, but let's say it's for the Saints or somebody else. Part of me wonders if he does get viewed in a better light, because the bar is so incredibly high in Green Bay, even from fans. There's still a decent portion of fans, Packers fans, that are not sold on Jordan Love, because we have been so spoiled with quarterback play over the last 3 years. Your entire life, your entire life, pretty much my entire life. I was 6, 7, whatever, when Favre started. I'm going to be 40 tomorrow, for crying out loud. Okay? So I have been spoiled. And I will say this, like, older fans will say, well, you never went through all that. Good. And I don't want to take it for granted. I don't want to go through. If I could go through my life without ever experiencing like the 70s Packers, the early 80s Packers, sign me up. And I hope I live a long, long, long life. Okay. So I don't want to come off as spoiled and entitled, and I hope I never do. It's just I feel like that works against Jordan Love, because the bar is. Everybody talks about being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and I get it. There's a pressure to that. You wear the star. But, I mean, come on now. Look at the Green Bay Packers. If Jordan Love continues, and he's got a long career yet, and I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to say he's going to get number retired. He's going to be featured. We're not going to – I don't want to get into – I don't know if we're going to get into 10 years like, oh, man, Favre, Rodgers, Star, and Jordan Love, who's the better quarterback. I don't know if that Love's going to be a part of that. If he is, great. I hope we do. But I think that's what works against him in this, is that nobody wants to believe that Green Bay found another quarterback, especially it'd be the 3rd in a row. And I think that works, and I think that's part of it, is like, no. I think the other part of it is, too, is that, Jordan has missed games. And we've come accustomed to Green Bay where that starting quarterback doesn't miss games. Rodgers did for a little bit. And even when Rodgers broke his collarbone, there was a narrative from fans saying Favre would play with that. No, he wouldn't.
No.
But that was the expectation that Favre had set. Well, Favre played when he'd hurt. Favre never broke his collarbone. Okay? Yeah. You can't. I don't care. You can't. So, but that was the expectation. And I think it's just so incredibly high in Green Bay that it's given me flashbacks, honestly, of 2010 Rodgers before the Super Bowl. Where, well, Rodgers is a bad playoff quarterback. He went to one playoff game and lost that Cardinals one where, I'm sorry, face mask, was it called? But that was the national narrative, that Rodgers can't win the postseason after one game. This is giving me flashbacks of that.
And I think that is the exact reason why Caleb Williams is looked on so high.
Yes.
Because he is not compared to anybody.
Yep.
Because he is.
The bar is low.
Yeah, because he's a good quarterback for the Bears. If you put Caleb Williams on the Packers, this is the same talk. If you flip Jordan Love and Caleb Williams, Jordan Love's on this list, Caleb Williams is off this list.
I think that's a good point.
I also think this is a little bit of Matt LaFleur, because in my opinion, he doesn't just let Jordan Love go for it. Last year we were kind of a run-first team, and that worked against Jordan Love. So I think that Jordan Love is, again, I think Jordan Love's a top 10 quarterback. I think Jordan Love is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, but it's time to let him go. And I think part of that is on Matt LaFleur.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair point, too, because that's what we were talking about last year a lot during the season was Does the ball need to be in Love's hands more? And that's kind of the talk heading into this season is, does the ball need to be in Jordan Love's hands more if you want to look at advanced statistics? I also think a thing that does hurt Jordan Love is that too many box score scout this thing. Because if you look at the stats, those quarterbacks that are listed higher, well, they're up there for touchdown passes and passing yards. The stats that we grew up with, right, that you can load up and easily look at on ESPN and all. What you can't find, well, you can, but it's not like out there because when you watch games, they show all the stats for the season. They don't show the EPAs. I guarantee you a big portion of people like, what the heck is an EPA? Right? It's not the go-to stat. Yes, Jordan Love leads in those, and those are really good stats. But for the casual fan or for the general people, when you look at Jordan Love's not top 10 in passing touchdowns. He's not top 10 in passing yards. So obviously he can't be a top 10 quarterback. But they don't look at the further items with that. I truly believe that too, especially if you don't watch games like Packers games and you're just looking at numbers, box score scouting.
And we'll be able to see if Caleb Williams is really this good this year because guess what? You saw with the Vikings, the luck runs out eventually. So you're not going to be able to throw up Hail Marys that are going to get caught year in and year out. It's going to run out. So you're going to see if he's that kind of closer that everybody says. I'm not a believer, but, some people are.
How much does it affect too, where maybe this gets overplayed a little bit? Maybe not. All right, we got a year of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams on tape.
Yeah. Does
that change anything? And that's where it puts pressure on Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and that offense to not be stagnant. They got to keep evolving. Every quarterback and play caller has to do that.
But this also, like Jordan Love reads this, chip on your shoulder. Read this, say you're disrespected, and go ball out. Like you can use this as motivation to be great next year, and he should be.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree, man. We got to take a quick break, but we'll have plenty more coming up after these few words. Summer puts your vehicle to the test, and AJM Automotive is ready to help you win that battle. With two convenient Eau Claire locations, AJM Automotive can handle everything from oil changes and inspections to brakes, tires, and major repairs. Before your next road trip, make sure your vehicle is ready for wherever summer takes you. You can trust the team at AJM Automotive. 2 locations and 1 commitment, keeping you safely on the road all summer long. Let's continue some more green and gold chats here as countdown to training camp continues this morning. And, well, you kind of mentioned it. Let's talk about Matt LaFleur. When we do this countdown, it's, what are we paying attention to when we get to camp? What do we pay attention to when we get to preseason? And I get, when it gets to training camp and preseason games, it's really hard to assess coaching. I mean, we're not going to see the game plan. I hope not. We're not going to see, exactly what they're going to do from an offensive standpoint and such. But I guess, when you look at this, I don't think Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat this year, but I do think it's a 2-year window, I would put it at. He's coming in with an extension. But I would say not unless something very bad happens this year. I would still say it's like a 2-year window for Matt LaFleur. But I think the biggest thing, I don't know about you, the biggest thing that Matt LaFleur has to figure out, hopefully he's already kind of figuring out here, and maybe try to, I don't know how you would do this in training camp or preseason. You got to figure out how to finish games. That's the biggest thing. You better have been able to figure out how to, I don't know how they could sit there in a room and whether it's play calling or scheme or what. We cannot go through another season like we did last year with all these collapses in the second half, heightened by that playoff game against Chicago. That can't happen. That to me is the biggest thing I think Matt LaFleur has to figure out, and hopefully it has, and implement that plan.
And I think, the hard question is figuring out why, right? I mean, it kind of all spiraled downhill when we lost Parsons against the Broncos. I mean, we were I think we were 9-2-1 at that point, and didn't win another game. And it was a lot of end-of-game collapses. But again, last year was such a difficult year because it was so hard to determine if it was on LaFleur, if it was on like our offense couldn't get a first down if that was on Jordan Love, or if that was on LaFleur.
Yeah.
Our defense couldn't get a stop if that was on our defense or on LaFleur. Like last year was such a hard year to figure out. And I think a lot of us put it on LaFleur because obviously he's the head coach, so figure it out. But now he gets an offseason to figure it out. And in all his press conferences, that's what he's talked about, finishing. And I wouldn't even say finishing games. They've got to finish the season.
Yeah,
they
that's
lost
good. Yeah.
5 straight to end the season. And that's unacceptable for a team that had Super Bowl aspirations. And so he's got another year and a schedule that isn't too hard, a schedule that he should get above a 7th seed finally. And we're going to see what he's going to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's still pressure on him. I mean, even with the contract extension, I think there's still a fair amount of pressure on him, whether it's more so from a fan's point of view or I don't know how much really there is in the building. You know, maybe they're trying to temper it down publicly, but you hear Ed Policy talk, it sure doesn't seem like there's a ton of pressure on Matt LaFleur, but the window is now. And if you can't do anything within this window, then you seriously need to have a look at yourself in the mirror from a franchise standpoint. Then you got a new defensive coordinator coming in with Jonathan Gannon. And I would argue that Jonathan Gannon is also coming in with a ton of pressure from high expectations. You get to inherit Micah Parsons, and you've got some pieces on this defense. I think a lot of fans want to see consistency and a defense that's like top 5, right? But the other pressure is going to come from fans because I guarantee you a lot of fans are going to compare Jonathan Gannon to what the Buffalo Bills are doing with Jimmy Leonard.
Yep.
And not that it's fair to Jonathan Gannon, but that's what's going to happen because that is the guy a lot of fans wanted. And if the Buffalo Bills are having a ton of success defensively and Green Bay struggles just even a little bit, holy moly, that is going to be out there.
Yeah.
And people are going to hold that against Matt LaFleur and Jonathan Gannon.
And not only are there high expectation, I mean, this defense is good. This has got talented players. When you have Micah Parsons, you're a good defense. So he's got the expectation there. But like you said, I mean, for the fans, he wasn't really anybody's first pick. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody really said, I want Jonathan Gannon as the Packers defensive coordinator. So that is intriguing because he's got to fight to earn the fans' respect now.
Yeah.
And that's going to take a really good defense this year. And they've got the pieces. I don't know how many first-round picks we've spent on defensive players the last couple of years, but he's got the pieces. Now he's got to show it. And that also goes into finishing. Can he end the season on a strong note? Kind of unlike Jeff Hafley.
Yeah.
And again, that goes into he's a former head coach. He can help with the finishing part too. So it all's got to work together.
And I do think, I know maybe some people might chuckle at this, but I do think that if Jonathan Gannon puts together a top 5 defense, let's say gets to a Super Bowl, the defense is a big reason. Gannon will be looked at again as a head coach. We kind of talked about with Jeff Hafley when he was first hired. He's like, hey, he's got a heck of an opportunity. If he could get something out of the defense, he could be a head coach. Well, now he's the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Yeah. And I think, I know people, look what he did with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are just a bad franchise.
Yeah.
They're a really bad franchise. If he is the defensive coordinator like he was with Philly, he's going to get looks again. Not saying he's going to get hired, but he will get looks again. I mean, it's happened time and time again. So it is going to be interesting to see what he does with this defense. I mean, we are going to go to I know he says there is no scheme, but it is a 3-4, which I think it fits better for some of the guys that they have on this roster. And then on the flip side, they also have a new special teams coordinator, Cam Achord, that's coming, which is the hardest one to see, scheme wise and such. I think the biggest thing I want to see from him is discipline.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of seeing flags on opening kicks when there's like no return.
Yeah.
So discipline, and just get guys to buy in to play special teams. Get back to I remember it was the day where you had rookies or undrafted rookie free agents, and the narrative was always, hey, you want to make the team, you got to play special teams. And I feel like that's kind of gone away. I mean, you got guys like Keyshawn Nixon saying, oh, no, I'm not playing anymore. Did you win an All-Pro? Man up and go play special teams again. Go be a returner again, for crying out loud. Do what's best for the team. So accountability and discipline is the biggest things that I want to see on the special teams group.
Yep. And again, like you said, the holding penalties on kickoffs that aren't even taken out can stop. So, but yeah, I think the kicking aspect is going to be interesting because if he struggles, a lot of people are probably going to put that on him. I don't personally, but consistency is key, and he finally got a kick returner in Sky Moore. So try to make something out of that.
Yep. So, special teams, when we look at this, that's going to be one with Trace Mack and a rookie kicker coming. I hope he works out. I mean, I'm still going to be nervous. I'll always be nervous with a kicker.
Yeah.
I'll always be nervous, but it would just be nice if we don't have to have this conversation about a kicker every 2 years. Can we find our next Mason Crosby, where we just have a kicker for the next 15 years? And I don't know. I'm nervous. The only thing about special teams I'm like good on is Daniel Whelan.
Yes,
I'm good. I'm good with the punter. We're good. The Irishman, he's got it. So I'm good with him. All right, we're a little behind. We got to take a quick break here. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Summer is here, and that means it is time to hit the road in something that you love. And at Toyson Ford, you will find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for every adventure. Looking for some power? How about comfort and reliability? Hey, they've got it all, backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure you are riding in style this summer. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, where your next journey begins. Don't forget to send over your questions for Jake Boakes for our outdoor segments coming up at about 8:30. Please text those on over to 715-830-1912, or you can shoot them on over to the Section 105 video stream too. So the countdown is officially on. We are less than 2 weeks away from training camp opening for the Pack, for the green and gold. I know some teams opening up as early as actually in a few days, because Hall of Fame game, new coaches, they get to open up a little bit earlier. So don't be shocked when next week you see teams already opening up practice. So I can't believe it. We're going to be there at this point in time. So we've been doing this training camp countdown and that. But if you had to pick one, intern Carter, I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you had to pick one, what's the main or the top item thing that you'll be kind of curious or watching when it comes to Packers training camp?
Well, I think one of the things is obviously the kicking game. He struggled in rookie minicamp coming in, so if he can figure that out, and then I think the other thing for me is the cornerback room. I've been really against the idea of this cornerback room. I've wanted them to add a corner all off season, so I'm interested to see who comes out on top if it's Valentine and Nixon starting to open the year again, because I know St. Juste was injured and Cisse is a rookie, but those things I'm interested in. Mainly just those two. I think Marshawn Lloyd's probably going to get hurt, but it's a story to see kind of how that plays out too.
We're still not knowing Josh Jacobs.
I know.
Again, I don't know if this is good or bad. I don't know.
It's got to be good, right?
You would think, right? I mean, you'd think, but I don't know. And I think, from a fan side, I would think the Packers maybe have an idea. Do you think they kind of know where the progress is on this? I think they would, but it's more from I guess us as fans. I want to know. We all want to know what's going on. I would think Josh Jacobs has an idea, maybe lawyers and talks, but it's just kind of weird that it's been a month at least, right? At least a month and nothing. So I don't know. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. First of all, we hope that nothing seriously was right. I mean that's the main thing. We want to hope that nothing was serious. But if he is cleared, I mean, it's just it's a difference maker whether he's on this team or not. Mm-hmm. Let's be real. The fact that Marshawn Lloyd is the main backup, like a month ago. Mm-hmm. The fact that Marshawn Lloyd is the backup, it's a complete difference maker whether Jacobs is on this team when he starts off the season or not. So
and that's why it was concerning when this came out, because it was like you need to add. But I do think the Packers would have added to their running backs room if they thought he wouldn't be playing.
That's the other point, too, because there are veterans that are out there, and maybe Green Bay does right before camp. They add a veteran. Yeah. Maybe there's no rush for that. I don't know. But, yeah, it's been really, especially for little old Green Bay, it's been pretty quiet. Pretty quiet. Maybe that's actually a benefit for him, because if it was a bigger city or bigger market, it'd be constant. You got all those investigative reporters. But I don't know. It just seems kind of weird. Mm-hmm. So, all right. I know we still got to take another break before the top of the hour. But tell you what, let's do some 3 up and 3 down coming up here in just a couple minutes. We'll do that right before the 8 o'clock hour. Send us your Mike's Star Market, Am I Wrong? So give us a sports take, give us a sports opinion where you would say, am I wrong? Honestly, a lot of what we just said about Jordan Love could probably fit Am I Wrongs. I'm going to say one for you. I don't know if this was what you would pick, but am I wrong? My name's Carter. Am I wrong for saying if Jordan Love was on the Bears, he'd be viewed in the same light as Caleb Williams? Kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Can we throw that out there? I think that's a good one. I think that is a fair one. Bar incredibly high in Green Bay. Bar incredibly low in Chicago. How many times have we seen the graphics during games of starting quarterbacks in Green Bay compared to Bears starting quarterbacks? Yeah. Right? I mean, I'm not trash talking. It's a fact. Yeah. It's out there. Every single game, I think they've had that. And every time a Bears draft a quarterback in the first round, it is brought up. It's very similar to Cleveland in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll take our final break and finish up the second hour with a little 3 up, 3 down. We'll be back after these few words. Summer road trips create some great memories, but you know what? Sometimes accidents do happen. If a fender bender puts a dent into your plans, trust the fine folks at Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire to get your vehicle looking like new again. Their experienced team provides quality collision repair and attention to detail that helps restore your vehicle and your peace of mind. When life bumps into your vehicle, count on Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire. Let's wrap up the second hour with some 3 up and 3 down. Now, it's been a fairly quiet week in the sports world, so probably not a lot of options to choose from. But I'll say for my 3 ups, I'm intrigued with the World Cup final. You got Messi, Argentina, and they're going up against Spain. So I think it's going to be a good one. I think it's been a good World Cup tournament for the most part. Been really entertaining. So I'm going to go with that for an up. My other up, I am going to go with, this is where it gets kind of dicey here for some of it. But up, I'm actually going to go with the home run derby. They kind of changed it back to some of the older rules, no clock, which I liked. I liked that. I thought it was an entertaining one. So I'm going to go with the home run derby. Thought it was good. I enjoyed myself at least. So go with that with an up. And then my final up. Oh, sorry. Got sidetracked with a message there. My final up, I am going to go. We got the Open going on right now. The final major of the golf season, which, in case you forgot, it is like some people are already done on the course because of the time difference. So, yeah. But, all right, my 3 down. Brewers injuries with some of their pitchers. getting swept by the Pirates going into the All-Star break. I swear that happens how many times? It probably only happened like twice, but it feels like it's been like that for a long, long time. Stupid rankings that make us talk about stupid stuff like we just did with the whole quarterback thing. The thing is, yes, I get it. It was from executives and GMs, but it's almost like these lists, like the NFL players list, the top 100 players list that comes out. I don't buy that stuff. And that thing has gone downhill so much since they first started it. Like, that used to be a thing. And I used to watch that all the time. It was like in prime time. Now they do it during the day, during the week, because nobody pays attention or cares about it anymore. No. It's content to fill in time. I get it. We all do it, but don't take them serious. Don't take them serious whatsoever. So, what were your thoughts on the All-Star game?
See, I didn't get to watch it. I was at work. But I think baseball All-Star game is still fun to watch because you have to try. Like, it's not something you cannot try on. Mm-hmm. So I wanted the NL to win, obviously, because the Brewers are in the NL, but I didn't mind seeing Sanchez get hit around a little bit. But I thought it was good. I wish the NL would have scored. But it's the only All-Star game that actually has value anymore, and players try. So
right,
it is what it is. The home run derby was pretty neat to see. So
yeah. The All-Star game is it's to the point you know what to expect, I feel. Yeah, it might have been a little boring because the National League only had, 3 hits and 15 Ks from the AL pitchers, but they're still competitive games. They're the closest thing to a real game that an All-Star game can provide. So I think, if some people came in with higher expectations, I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say to that, I guess.
So you watched it, right?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the mic'd up players?
The Schwarber one was weird. I don't know if there were some issues, like he had trouble and then he wasn't really talking.
Yeah.
So it's fun if you get the right person.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's one from spring training years ago. I know it's spring training, but Freddie Freeman was on it with the Braves. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about, where Chipper Jones is in the booth.
Yeah.
And Freddie is just going back and forth with them. That's fun because that was funny. But I hate it during the playoffs. I hate it during games that matter.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're trying to interview a manager.
Yes.
And the game is going on.
Yeah.
Like, just stop.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on who you have mic'd up. Like, if they know, if they're a character or they're fun, okay, it's different. But other than that, it gets really awkward.
I thought they overdid it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I liked even though I don't like the player, I liked the PCA one just because he's a good personality. But like the one with all 3 pitchers at once was weird.
Yes.
And it was like not necessary. Let's just do one at a time.
Was it Miz, Verlander, and
Schiller
Cam?
from the Yankees? Yeah,
because then it's like, okay, you can only hear in the ear. Those guys probably don't know, like, okay, you got to talk? You got to talk? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really awkward.
I didn't like that one. The Schwarber one was weird, too, because he was, like, locked in, so he wasn't talking.
Yeah. It didn't work out. I will say the one thing in the home run derby I did not like was the pregame. The Will Ferrell intro thing just did not work.
Yeah.
Okay, you're trying to draw some more entertainment, but that didn't work. So, but yeah, that's something I think we bring up once in a while when it gets to the playoffs because it feels like that's when they really mic up a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's like, or what is it? What was it? Maybe it was baseball. I think it was baseball in the playoffs where they just randomly will go to the manager in the middle of a game. Let them focus on the game. What are they going to tell you during the game that we don't already know? Yeah, we need this guy to go deep for a... Come on, just let them go manage, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I hate that. And I don't know, I would feel awkward as the reporter to go ask those questions. You got to keep it short.
Really short, yeah.
And you got to have that one good question. And more times than not, it's a very generic question that we didn't learn anything from.
Well, and it's always like in the second inning, and they're like, how is your pitcher settled in? And the manager's like, dude, it's like the second inning. He's gotten 6 outs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's... I think it's a neat idea, but you need the right person to be able to do it. Like the Freddie Freeman one, I'll keep going to because that is a funny one.
Yeah.
I like that. And it's spring training. So, I mean, or what was it? Wasn't there one with, I think it was just Rizzo was pitching to Freeman. I don't even think they were mic'd up, but, have moments like that. Sometimes it can be fun, but more times it's kind of a waste of time, I think. But all right, we got a shot clock's going to cut us off in less than a minute. So we are already at halftime here on this Thursday morning. Second to final call to get some questions in from Mr. Jake Bilks, our conservation warden buddy, who will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. So you can send those on over. Text it 715-830-1912, or you can hang out in the Section 105 chat. So, but and Barb said, I did as well, thought I was hearing things talking about the mic thing. Oh, what was it? I'm getting sidetracked. Shot clock's going to cut us off. That's what I get sidetracked.